And welcome back to Noon Edition. We are now joined by Lima City Police Chief Angel Cortes. And thank you for joining us today, first of all. We want to talk about four-wheelers, three-wheelers, ATVs, I guess you might just say, and dirt bikes, mini bikes. Those are really not street legal, and City Council certainly helped you out this last week.
That's right. So they're not street legal, and this time of year we have a lot of people getting their toys out of their garage and they want to go out and enjoy them. Unfortunately, they're not legal to be on the streets of Lima, and they present a danger for not only the person riding the bike, but the people who are driving in their vehicles or even walking on the street.
Yeah, you're not looking for an ATV, you're not looking for a mini bike, and all of a sudden it comes darting out of nowhere, and boy, it can really be a hazard.
For sure, and they put themselves in danger and everybody else. And the problem is when they see a police car, they know that they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, and they immediately flee. And they start going through stop signs, red lights, and avoiding all traffic controls, and that causes a great danger. Not to mention the annoyance or the nuisance for those people who are just trying to relax and sit on their property and maybe have a cup of coffee or a cold beer after a hard day's work, and they got these bikes going up and down, buzzing around. They're not supposed to be there.
So we kind of touched on it, but City Council just passed new legislation, and this helps you out in what way?
Right, so there was legislation in the book that defined all-terrain vehicle, which is what these fall under, but it needed to be cleared up a little bit more. So what council did was they revised the current legislation, and they made it more, they took the ambiguity out of it, so it specifically defines city streets, city property, and city parks in that legislation where it did not before.
Okay. Another issue that a lot of folks are probably thinking, gosh, is this coming next? Golf carts, because we see them in a lot of smaller towns where it's probably not a big issue because you don't have the traffic. Is that something we're going to be having to deal with here in Lima soon?
Well, we have not had to deal with it yet, but it's possible, and we've had discussions about that. A lot of people get confused, and they think because their golf cart is street legal, that they can drive them on the city streets in Lima, Ohio. That's up to each community, and in our community, we don't permit that. And I don't know if that'll change in the future, but in the foreseeable future, I don't see that happening.
Good to see that these things are getting handled, because they can get out of control quickly.
Absolutely.
All right, one other issue. 4th of July is coming up. Everybody loves to start shooting off those firecrackers, and it usually starts 2 or 3 days. Probably this weekend it'll start. How do you guys have to handle that? Because you have better things to deal with than fireworks.
I'll tell you what, people call in because it's annoying, and we really hope for voluntary compliance. We'll respond to the calls, but at a certain point they become so overwhelming that we don't have the resources to respond to every call. So we just have to make sure that it's not multiple calls in the same area, something that's getting out of hand that could create a possible fire or danger. You know, it's pretty dry out there right now, so we have to be careful. So we really hope for voluntary compliance, but we know that this is an issue that we have to deal with yearly. And please remember, people have animals out there that get frightened, and a lot of people have animals, right? So let's try to do it for the dogs and cats if nobody else.
Absolutely. Chief, thank you so much for your time today. Always a pleasure to chat with you. And Holly is back. She'll have a look at medical when we come back.